March, the month where every game matters, upsets are inevitable, and Cinderella stories are born. Welcome into sports. I'm Jared Valentin. As soon as Syracuse women's basketball tipped off against number 6 Louisville today, the Orange's offense disappeared. Andrew, you know how Dory from Finding Nemo has short-term memory loss?
Yeah, I think most of us do, in all honesty. Yeah.
That's what Syracuse needs going forward, and I'll tell you why. What the Orange have ahead is a big home stretch and a big opportunity to earn some revenge wins. Syracuse needs to just keep swimming, just keep swimming. You know that feeling when you're playing a video game against your older sibling, and no matter how many times you play them, or no matter what you do, you just can't come out on top? 6 hours into March Madness, and my bracket is already shattered. An in-state battle, points, and history repeating itself. That's this week's parlay in a nutshell. After getting shut out twice to number 5 Minnesota Duluth, 4-0 to start its season, Syracuse ice hockey needed to bounce back and fast. But just as quickly as that Orange offense vanished, it reappeared again for a brief moment. The Orange are 0-5 at home, so just keep swimming, and forget about that Penn State series and move on to what's ahead. If that experience has taught him anything, it's that NIL is priority number 1.
The big thing you need to know for this one tonight, no Dominique Darius. The guard left after a collision in the third quarter against Cal yesterday, and that victory over the Golden Bears did not return. We later found out this morning that she will not be available for tonight's matchup and for the rest of the entire ACC tournament with a left hand injury.
What did you see from the Dome and from the fans inside, as well as what did Coach Autry have to say about it?
Yeah, Ben, this is a complete 180 from what it was like just a few hours ago in the Dome, and it was one of the things that head coach Adrian Autry pointed out right away in the press conference. He said that this atmosphere was electric, and especially in that second half was when you saw it the most, when guys like Tyler Betsy and Kyan Anthony came into the game and started lighting it up from downtown. That's when this crowd was on its feet for seemingly most of the entire second half. And once this Syracuse team got it to within 1 point, within 2 points, and even single digits, this crowd was animated, roaring, booing SMU players when they went to the free throw line, and cheering on when Syracuse even got just something as simple as a defensive stop to go the other way. This crowd was on its feet, electric, roaring, passionate, and really couldn't have asked for a better crowd turnout, and ultimately it helps and got SU the win.
Jared, a quiet day for J.J. Starling, just 4 points and 6 field goal attempts. Didn't play for most of that second half, especially down the stretch. Was there any explanation for the lack of Starling today?
Yeah, head coach Adrian Autry kept it simple post-game. He said that SMU was playing a lot of zone, and he wanted some of the shooters off the bench like Tyler Betsy and Kyan Anthony to come in the second half and really expose that zone that SMU was playing. That's why you saw them come in early in the half, and in turn, they lit it up. Tyler Betsy, 13 points, Kyan Anthony, 8 points respectively. They hit 3 after 3 after 3, and I just mentioned how this crowd was getting into it. They were getting into it, and it was giving them confidence to not only hit open shots, but to hit more difficult shots down the stretch that Syracuse needed. He wanted those guys to get in, and he kept Starling on the bench down the stretch, and he pointed out Starling and praised him in particular after the game. When he was asked why Starling was sitting out, he said he couldn't have been happier with that decision. Starling took the back seat, let guys like Anthony and Betsy and eventually Nate Kings do the heavy lifting and contribute down the stretch. But to answer your question, Ryan, just as simple as SMU was playing zone and Syracuse wanted to expose that. Against the best of the best this season, Syracuse women's basketball has struggled. A 20-point loss to Duke, an overtime defeat to North Carolina, and a 20-point loss to Louisville after cutting the deficit down to single digits. Today against NC State was sure to be different though, right? Wrong. SU trailed by as much as 18 in the second quarter before cutting the lead down to 7 in the third, but when the Orange offense needed to score the most, SU could not. The Orange fell 82-69 here inside Reynolds Coliseum for another ACC defeat.
NC State is a great team. I remember how they were in the first 4-6 games of the season. They were killers. We knew that they were going to break that. They lost 2 games in a row. We should have been more ready to understand the wrath of that resistance. And we kind of kept getting punched in the mouth, and we didn't match that until we got to halftime.
We did share the ball much better, penetrate kick, swung it, and made the extra pass, and definitely was something we've been trying to emphasize and get back to doing, because we have had moments where we've done it. So we just got to be more consistent with it.
Despite the loss, one Orange player continued to shine for Syracuse, and that was center Uche Ezoje, who made her presence felt right here inside the paint.
I'm so proud of her focus, her poise, and her ability to let things rub off her shoulder when she feels like she's been wrong. As a freshman, she's playing the game as one of the best players, in my opinion, in the conference. Forget the fact that she's a freshman.
She is unbelievable. And yes, she's, leads the conference in block shots. She's one of the top rebounders. You know, today, hard to stop her. You got to try to keep the ball out of her hands best you can. That's why we switched and put Camille on her to try to deny her the ball.
The opportunity for Syracuse to bounce back comes this Thursday when SU visits Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish beat the Orange by 31 when the two met up last season. Tip-off for that one is at 7 o'clock from South Bend, Indiana. Until then, reporting from Reynolds Coliseum here in Raleigh, North Carolina, Jared Valentin, Citrus TV.
Some people can want to start and want to be that person, but like me, I just want to be able to help my teammates. And if it's doing the handshakes, all right, let's get it. I'm going to pump you up so good that when we're ready to play, you just feel free and you just know that, you know, we're in this together. I'm grateful to be able to be that person for my team.
When you have a team with 8 new faces, you have to find a way to bring the entire squad together. One Syracuse women's basketball player has done just that.
It's at this spot every game where Syracuse guard Angelica Velez shows off her different pregame handshakes with each Orange starter.
This summer, you know, I would just volunteer like, hey, I want to be the person that does the handshakes. I always have the most energy, always just energetic, and I always wanted to just make my teammates pumped up before the game. So, you know, we kind of invented our handshakes. I just wanted to do something fun for each person, and then they put their own creativity and twist to it.
Those handshakes range from fun in games to strictly locking in for what's ahead.
Me and Dom, we worked together, but she had an idea of what she wanted to do. Uche, she just does TikToks. So she was like, all right, y'all, let's do this. And I'm just following her lead with that. Layla, it's just a firm, like, let's go, Cap. She's straight to the business.
And some even reflect how her teammates play on the court.
We do a 1-2, and then we kick it down the door, and we shooting the place down. I think it goes with, you know, who Sophie is as a player. Like, you know, she's coming through the door, she's shooting the lights out. And Sophie's been a very impactful and important person for this team.
That effort to unite everyone has gone far from unrecognized with SU's newest additions.
Joe's an amazing teammate. She's the first person to text you if you had a bad game. She's the first person to want to watch film with you or just talk to you. She's the first person to come up to you after a bad play. Like, she's just very giving as a person. You don't always get that, and I think that just speaks volume to her character. And she's just the best teammate one of the best teammates I've had.
She constantly is always trying to help me get better. She's constantly in my ear pushing me each and every day, and I just feel like you don't really get like someone that shows up every single day and that helps her teammates.
We've been with each other for, like, some people for 4 years, you know, in a college stretch, but the next 40 is what's going to matter. Coach Jack talks about it all the time, like, you know, hopefully you guys come back together when you guys are old ladies and go on a trip, you know. And I think this is the group for it. Like, we'll definitely be at each other's weddings, I think, down the line in life.
Jared Valentin, Citrus TV.